Oh, I got it.
Well,
I'm saving it.
Why can't I save it?
That was clutch.
Okay. So now, are we all good eating our marshmallows? We're set?
Yeah.
Everyone really good with the big pieces? So now we're going to move on to the worms.
These are a little skinnier.
A little skinnier and longer. So if they're smaller, what are you going to have to do?
Clench it down farther. Did I get it right?
So
If you think of anything you could do with your fingers to get the worm more easily.
yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Brock's your genius.
So you good?
So just practice with the worms now.
The worms on
You all good?
You got it. And remember what we said, if to get a little bit less thick, move your fingers down a bit. So you have more
Or
is that easier for you?
or you can put it under.
Good job.
Or you can put it completely under.
Good? Enjoying? Everyone enjoying?
What about the next you make it then?
Rising.
Okay, so everyone good with the smaller? They're more noodle-like, so we thought it would be good.
I feel like I'm in China. Which one?
Good? Everyone good? Good with their worms?
I've actually been referred to by a black man as smelling great.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the M&Ms. Now these may be a little more tricky because they're small. They're smaller and a little more slippery. So what do you think, if you were to just have them sit flat, what do you think the easiest angle to attack them would be?
the side.
Plan my
Okay, try it.
Okay, so that's probably not the best way.
So what's another angle
Try
you can go
another
from?
angle.
Oh no! That took you a while.
You have to like flip it.
Okay,
What's-
how did you pick it up?
Lost about it.
How'd you pick it up?
I can't go on. It's right.
Don't worry, endurance.
She needs a break, but water break.
Okay, did you guys get it?
Yeah.
So what's the easiest angle to do it?
Get it up on edge.
True.
I'm just thinking this angle.
Angle in your mouth.
Close to your
Right,
mouth.
Eric, how did you get so many M&Ms? I think I need 4 M&Ms to practice on.
Yes, you got it.
All of us.
Right?
How are you doing?
Sorry.
I thought for sure you guys would press sushi.
I've never been able to do this, just so you guys know.
I love this cabinet.
Thank you. Thank you for having me discover how much
Okay, so we all have our Tic Tacs left, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we figured we'd give you,
They want fresh mouths.
we figured we'd give you a mint because, you know, sometimes this tastes
And this,
all,
is, and this is pretty similar to the M&M, so it's not too much more difficult. It's just really small. You have any more Tic Tacs?
I don't know where the thing is. Yes, we do.
Still chilling on them.
I made it in the
How about
beginning.
Did you think I was giving you?
Yes, I thought you were giving me a Tic Tac. Thank you.
Everybody just give me
You have halitosis.
I know a guy. I got it.
And I clapped with you. Okay, we're all feeling pretty comfortable with the chopsticks.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we were talking about before, this is guided discovery, and so the emphasis is just on questions. So we ask the teacher has a lot of responsibility and a lot of work before the lesson plan because you have to come up with questions that go in a sequential order and the students will feel like they discovered it on their own.
So here's the thing, the information on our style.
No.
No?
Yes.
Okay, so what's unique about Style F is it's crossing the discovery threshold. And so you guys are figuring out for yourselves, we're not necessarily telling you exactly what to do. You guys are figuring out step by step from our questions. So yeah.
So the basic role of the teacher, they make all the subject matter decisions. They design the sequence of questions that will eventually lead to the final concept. They provide feedback to the learner. If the learner's confused, we're allowed to talk to you and help you through whatever you're trying to learn. And we're supposed to have the eureka moment at the end that we talked about earlier. And that can be really rewarding for the teacher and for the student, too.
So the role of the student is pretty much just to listen to the questions and then answer them. And by answering them, you'll discover how to do the final concept that we're looking for. And some of the subject matter objectives is you're going to discover how all the steps are connected. And so you can figure out step by step how to do it.
So then some of the behavior objectives, we've talked about them, crossing the discovery threshold, having that eureka moment, and then it's important for the teacher to create an environment that's really conducive to learning. It'll be casual and discussion-based, go back and forth, and just make the student feel comfortable in the environment. So implementing the style, we talked about the pre-impact, impact, post-impact for all the styles. And the pre-impact is basically just the teacher designing the set of questions for the students. And this can be a lot of work on the teacher's part, just because a lot of thought has to go into it. But yeah, that's basically all the pre-impact.
And then the impact stage is the teachers asking all the questions, and they don't actually tell you what's going to be learned. That's why we started with you guys having to figure out we were going to use chopsticks. And the learner figures out and has the eureka moment. And the post-impact set is all the responses to the questions. So what's really unique about our style is that you're within the impact and the post-impact set the whole time because they are interchangeable. Because you ask the question and the post-impact is the answer. And so you're going back and forth between the two. And this is usually used for more like concepts, so like an idea behind something, or yeah, just like why you have to do it and why it's important to do it.
Yeah, it can be difficult to do this for movements because that's where you need a lot more guidance. So teachers can ask questions more about thoughts and concepts more than movements. And then the best results are usually one-to-one, just because when you're sitting in a group, you can look next to you and see how they're doing it and you can do it like them. But if you're one-on-one, you'll have that eureka moment, the discovery for yourself, and it's the best way. So, yeah.
Any questions? Regan? Any questions on how to use chopsticks? Any questions on the style?
Okay.
Do most people use them with rice?
Yeah. So what if they needed to cut something?
You cut it before
Maybe
you
don't
cook
get
it.
cut. I don't know.
Some
Yeah,
people
they
like put it
usually cut
together
it.
and then you separate it, like, I see
Oh.
people
You
do
use
it.
your chopsticks.
Yeah.
Asian.